Hello everyone! In this lesson, we will be creating this Newton cradle effect using CSS animations. I think this will be an interesting lesson, so let's see how we can make this happen. First of all, I will go to my HTML right here, and I will add a div and give it a class of cradle. Then, inside of that, I will add 5 empty spans so that each span will be like an arm of the cradle. Then I will go to my CSS to make this look like our demo. We will start by targeting all the spans inside the div with the class of cradle. So I will say cradle, span. And I will continue by setting the display property of these spans to block so that they become block elements. That way, we can add width and height to them. Then I will add width, 3 pixels, and that will be the width of the arms of the cradle. Then height, 300 pixels, and background color, white. So now, if I go and reload my browser, you can see we have all the spans, and they sit one above the other because we set their display property to block. But we need to align them so they stand side by side, and not top to bottom. We can easily do that by using our good friend Flexbox. So I will go right here inside my CSS, and I will target their container, which has the class of cradle. And I will just say display, flex. So now you can see they all sit side by side. But we need to separate them, meaning we need to add a little bit of space between them. So I will go inside the span selector, and I will add margin, 0 from top and bottom, and 30 pixels from left and right. And now you can see they have some spacing. Great. Now let's go to the cradle selector and add border top, 10 pixels, solid, white. And you can see we are getting closer to what we want. Now we need to work on the circles of the cradle. I will be creating them using the before pseudo element. So I will target the spans again, and I will say before. Then I will add content, empty, then position, absolute. And then let's actually go up here to span selector and add position, relative, so that the balls, or circles, will be relative to our spans. Then I will go down here and add bottom, 0, because we want them to be at the bottom of our spans, of course. Then left, 0 as well. Width, 60 pixels. Height, 60 pixels. We need them to have the same width and height so that they will be squares. Why? Because then we can easily make them circles by just adding border radius, 50%. Then finally, I will add background color, white as well. Okay, so now when I go to the browser and reload, you can see we have the before pseudo elements for each span, and they sit at the bottom of their span, of course, because we added bottom 0. But now we need them to be centered in each span. So what we can do is we can shift them to the left so they'll be centered, just like in our demo. So I will go right here and add transform, translate x, minus 50%, so that they will be shifted to the left by half of their width, which is 30 pixels, and be centered, just like that. But you can see there's a little bit of spacing between the circles that makes them look separated from each other. So let's go right here inside the span selector and decrease this 30 pixel margin to 29 pixels. There we go. They are touching each other and there is no space between them. Great! Now we need to work on our animation to make this cradle actually work. So I have a really slow demo right here of the cradle that will let us see what is happening clearly. I need you to ignore the right arm here for now, and just pay attention to the left arm here. Take a look at its movement. I will reload the browser, And you can see the first arm starts from its original position and rotates 60 degrees clockwise, then rotates again to its original position, stays for a while until the second arm returns, and then just repeats the process. So, we will have 3 stages for the animation of the first arm. In the first stage, the arm will rotate clockwise by 60 degrees, then return to its original position. In the second stage, and then in the final stage, it will stay still in its original position until the second arm goes and completes its rotation. So let's actually create these 3 stages. I will go right here and create a new animation. Name it left arm. Then inside of it, I will say that at 0%, I will add transform, rotate, 0 degrees. Then at 25%, transform, rotate 60 degrees so that the arm will rotate 60 degrees clockwise. Then at 50%, I want it to return to its original position. So I will say transform, rotate 0 degrees. And I want it to stay in this position until the right arm finishes its rotation. So I will say that at 100%, transform, rotate 0 degrees as well. So from 50% to 100% of the animation duration, I will tell the left arm to have rotation 0, meaning it will stay in its position. Cool. Now we want to add this animation to the left arm. So I will target the span, then the first child, which will select the left arm for us, of course. Then inside of it, I will add animation, left arm, and add an animation duration of 2 seconds. Then ease in and infinite. Then I will go and reload. And you can see the left arm is rotating, but it's rotating on its center point. This is completely normal, of course, because that's the default, but we want it to rotate from its top point, right here. We can handle that, no problem, by just going right here inside the span selector and adding transform origin, top. And now you can see the left arm is rotating the way we want. It rotates 60 degrees clockwise, then returns to its position, stays for a while, then repeats the process again. All right, now let's take a look at the right arm. I will go to our slow demo again, and this time I want you to watch the right arm. So when I reload, you can see the right arm stays in its position and doesn't move until the left arm rotates and returns. And once it returns, the right arm starts rotating counterclockwise by 60 degrees. That means that we will use the animation delay property on the right arm to make it wait until the left arm completes its action. Let's reload again. So it waits, then starts rotating, finishes, and then stays still until the left arm finishes, then repeats the whole process. So let's create that animation. I will go right here and create a new animation. Name it right arm. Then I will copy all of that, paste it again here, and just change 60 degrees to minus 60 degrees. Then I will go up here, copy this, paste it again, and change first child to last child. Then I will change the animation name to right arm instead of left arm. Leave everything as it is, and add an animation delay of 1 second. So what will happen when I reload is the left arm will rotate immediately to the left, and it will take 50% of the animation duration to rotate and return. In other words, it will take 1 second. Meanwhile, the right arm will wait this 1 second because it has an animation delay of 1 second, And then it will start rotating to the right, taking half of its animation duration, also 1 second, to complete its action and return. During this time, this 1 second, which again is half of its animation duration, the left arm will be waiting. And this wait for half, move for half process will continue forever.